Hey, thanks for joining. Today we're jumping into a topic that, well, literally touches every single coastline on the planet, sea level rise. We're going to break down the key numbers, what's causing it, and which communities are on the front lines, both around the world and right here at home. All right, let's get into it.
You know, this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. It's so easy to think of this as some huge, faraway problem, right? But it only seems inconsequential until it creeps up to your own doorsteps. And that's exactly how we're going to look at this today, making a massive global issue feel a lot more personal.
So where do we even start? Well, first things first, let's just try to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this thing. How much of the ocean's actually risen? Let's take a look at the hard numbers.
Okay, this is the first number you really need to know. 25 centimeters. That's almost 10 inches. To put that in perspective, picture the waterline on every coast all around the world being permanently almost a foot higher than it was way back in 1880. So yeah, this isn't some brand new thing. It's been building for well over a century.
But here's where the story gets kind of wild. Check out this number. This is the current rate of rise, 4.62 millimeters per year. Now that might not sound like a lot, but that rate is more than double what it was just 30 years ago. So the really crucial takeaway here isn't just that the seas are rising, it's that the pace is speeding up a lot.
That acceleration naturally makes you wonder, right? What on earth is causing this? What's the engine driving all this water higher? So let's jump into our next section and find out.
Turns out it really boils down to two main things. First up is something called thermal expansion. It's just simple physics, really. As ocean water gets warmer, it literally expands. It takes up more space. And second, you've got the melting of glaciers and ice sheets. Just picture these massive frozen reservoirs on land just pouring water straight into the ocean. Those two things, working together, are the primary forces pushing sea levels up.
Okay, so we've got the what and the why. Now let's look at the where. We're shifting our focus to the communities around the world that are already under threat, the international front line where these numbers are becoming a very real everyday problem.
And this threat is just incredibly widespread. It's hitting all kinds of coastal communities. We're talking about entire Pacific Island nations like Tuvalu and Kiribati that are facing the very real possibility of losing their homeland. We're talking about crowded river deltas, even iconic cities like Venice. For millions of people in these places, this is not a problem for the future. It's a crisis happening right now.
But this isn't just happening in far-off places. To make this even more real, let's bring the issue right here, home, and take a look at the threat on U.S. shores.
I mean, just take a city like Miami. Down there, seawater isn't some distant threat. It's literally bubbling up through the storm drains and flooding the streets on perfectly clear sunny days. They call it sunny day flooding, and it is a powerful preview of what more and more coastal cities are going to have to deal with.
And believe me, Miami is not alone, not by a long shot. This risk stretches from coast to coast, threatening some of America's most famous cities: New York, San Francisco, New Orleans, Boston. The list just goes on and on. We're looking at a future where parts of these huge economic and cultural centers could be dealing with serious regular flooding. It would fundamentally change life for millions of people.
So, with this reality starting to set in, both globally and locally, the final, most important question becomes, what happens next? How do we face this challenge that's unfolding right in front of us?
So what can actually be done? Well, the path forward really requires two things at once. It's about taking immediate action, stuff like building seawalls and restoring natural barriers like mangroves, but it also means combining that with really smart long-term planning about how and where we build in the future. This isn't about panicking. It's about being prepared and adapting to protect the people and places at risk.
And that really brings us to our final thought, a question we just want to leave with you. Because this isn't just about big governments and global policies. It really comes down to every town, every city, every single neighborhood on the coast. So take a moment and really think about this. Is your community prepared for the rising tide?